Initializing just a little longer. Hold on. And
Okay.
now we're live. Hey
Okay.
everyone. Thanks for joining us live. I appreciate you being here because I am here with the most amazing person. She's truly brilliant. Sabrina Teekah of Opdex and my favorite show, Teekah Talks. So we're here to talk about content creators burnout. And before we got started, I just learned that there's more than one kind of burnout. I just figured I got tired and I don't want to work anymore. But I know other creators have gone through the same thing. So now we're here talking with Sabrina and we're going to find out what she knows about burnout. Hey, Sabrina.
Awesome. Hi, Erica. Thank you for having me. This is a really great topic because I don't think we stop to really talk about it um, as often as we should because we're humans and we face things in life.
That's
Yeah.
true. So, I'm a big fan of Tika Talks, as you know,
Thank
and I
you.
know that it stopped and it started. I want to know, why did you get started with live streaming and everything from there?
Yeah. So, um, with in terms of live streaming, and just Zoom meeting type of things, it was a way to bring a community together, especially during the pandemic, because I I was very active in things like BNI and NABO, women's groups and different things like that. So I was very active in those things. And then during the pandemic, none of that was going on. I um I was like, well, we have to we have to figure out what it is that we have that we can use to still be connected and still talk to people. And being online is not a new concept to me because I came from the computer science industry, and we've had people doing things online and maybe using different tools, but it was not a new idea. It was just a thing that you do to bring groups together and talk about whatever you need to talk about.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite things about Tika Talks is that I feel like you can see me. I feel like I'm heard. You bring people on who teach me things, and I feel like they treat me how you treat me, like letting me be seen and heard. The members that you have also treat me how you would treat me, and I think that's a great thing. So, how long have you been running Tika Talks?
So Teekah Talks has been running for about 3 years. And obviously, well, we had a little short break because life happened. And so I am initiating it, trying to get it up and running on a more consistent basis. So that was one burnout. If you want to sort of start with Tika Talks, after 70 something episode, I was burnt out in terms of the time commitment that
Mhm.
it took, not mentally, physically, or any of those other types that I'll talk about. Um, but I was burnt out in terms of getting a speaker, sending out the emails, reminders. There is a lot that goes in to getting it ready. And then also, since um, everything got opened up, the timing that I had originally started, which was all accidental in terms of timing. It was Friday afternoons at 5. That did not work anymore after life opened up again. So finding a time that worked for most people, I know it'll never work for everyone, is still a challenge. So I'm trying different things. I still want to continue doing it because I feel that it does bring value, and it's one of the things that I want to do because fulfills me in terms of one of my purpose in life is to find great people and showcase them, but also learn from them.
Yeah.
And um, and that is, that's something that I still will continue to do. It's just a matter of finding the right timing that um, can work for everybody. And not for everybody, but for people who want to attend. So the timing will vary. There is, because sometimes I cannot get the speaker that I want to get the time that I want to get them. So I have to be flexible. So this is going to go through some flexibility until it sort of stabilizes. So, and I was doing it every week, which I know you do things every week and probably almost every day. And that for me was too exhausting in terms of every week, because I do need to do tasks that actually pay my bills, you know. So I have to weigh in balance. I just have to weigh in balance. Yeah.
I understand. So, 77 episodes, and you were feeling tired or exhausted. Not that the task took that much time and energy. It's
It
just
took
that,
about 4 hours.
yeah,
Yeah, approximately 4 hours. And then if a speaker didn't get back to me, then it took more time. So you've gone through these before.
yes. So, I've done a little over 200 episodes. I live stream myself at least 3 times a week, but I was also helping two other people with their live stream shows. And some of them would wait to the day of. Not that it takes long. It takes about 5 minutes, probably less than 5 minutes to set up a live stream. But it's so much easier if they
Yeah.
already know what they're talking about. Like if they have their content calendar written out,
Yes.
if they have their guests already pre-booked, or if they use a booking system for their guests. I had a client who refused. He was like, I don't want to use that. I was like, oh, okay. So he depended on me and email. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but yes, it made me tired. For me, I dropped two, three shows because I was so very tired. And
Hmm.
I hated it because it didn't take long to set up. It didn't take long to run. Um, as far as getting guests, if I recently learned last year, if someone doesn't get back to me right away, they go to the end of the list, and I move
Oh,
on.
that's a
I
good
ask someone
that's a
else.
good strategy. Yeah, that's a great strategy. I
Yeah.
like that.
Shout out to El Kersey because I wouldn't have never figured that out. I'd probably still be waiting on people who says, "Give me a few minutes and I'll get back to you," and they never do. You just put them at the back of the line and you move on
Right.
with your
Move on.
list.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So that was one kind of burnout in terms of I also used to do, before Teekah Talks, I did a TV show, two TV shows, and that was also um a lot of, you know, a lot of preparation. It was a little bit it was a little bit more preparation than Teekah Talks,
Hmm.
because we did it interview style. Most of Teekah Talks, I just let the person have the stage, and
Hmm.
they talked for a couple minutes and we asked questions. Um, and that particular one, the TV shows were precisely timed.
Hmm.
So I had to make sure that it was precisely timed, you know. Yeah, so after a while, but one of the things that I have learned with doing any task in in my business and in my life, I try to understand what is the value I'm giving, but I also want to know what is this a good return on my time. If this is not a good return on my time, then I need to evaluate it a little bit more, right? So if I have a goal for Tika Talks, my goal, in addition to learning from other brilliant minds and creating a community is I want to grow my email list. I'm in business and I'm in business to have impact and income, not just impact. So at some point, you have to evaluate, is that time well spent? Or should I be doing something else with those hours that will be more, that would still be impactful, but also generate me revenue?
Really good things to ask myself. Hopefully, everyone watching us or listening to us will ask themselves that same question. It's not enough to have impact. You need things to sustain yourself and your business. You need to do things that will generate income. And it's funny, a live stream will do that. A live stream can bring you a lot of those things. And I wasn't asking for them. Me personally, I wasn't asking for them. Yes, I'm working with One Stream Live. Happy to do that. And I appreciate my ability to do that. But I wasn't asking other clients for as much as I know I should have. And I think that was making me tired also.
Yeah. I think a good exercise to do is actually write down everything you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and what is it doing for you.
Ooh, okay.
Like have two columns. I'm doing this. How is it impact income? You can have three columns. What it is you're doing, what's the impact, and what's the income.
Okay.
And sort of do an evaluation. Is it physically exhausting? Is it emotionally exhausting? Is it increasing or reducing my productivity? Is it physically or mentally exhausting? Whatever the questions that you need to ask, that why am I doing this? Really understanding the why behind you do, not just because, and this is something I learned through my own error years ago. Okay. One of the things that happens as business owners, and it's a part of the journey, once you start, you see a lot of things, and I call them shiny objects or
Mm-hmm.
squirrels. And we want to know what it does. We want to know how we can use it. We feel that it's a big piece of the missing piece of our business puzzle.
I feel like see me so well.
And it is a piece, but here's the other question you need to ask. Is it the piece for the right stage of my business?
Mm.
Because businesses have stages. They start, they're a little toddler. They need to learn how to creep before they can stand up, before they can walk. So if I'm at a stage where I'm learning how to creep, why do I need Facebook ads? I don't even have clients.
Yeah.
Why do I need a course? I need it at some point, but I don't need it right now. So really understanding what it is I'm running against, what it is I'm spending time learning, saying, oh, because at the end of the day, whoever is selling you something, just like how we sell things, we are trying to let you know what a great opportunity it is. And if you don't understand, do you need that opportunity today?
Mm.
You will be all over the place. You will be spending a lot of time. Trust me, I've gone through it for years. So I'm telling you from experience. Okay. I'm explaining from experience. Um, you'll spend the money. I've spent thousands learning different things. And some of the things I learned 10 years ago, they're amazing strategies, but I didn't have the wisdom of growing a business to understand where and when it fits, right? So
You're making so much sense. I understand everything, and it's like all the things that you know and that you've seen, you've gone through, it's happening to me.
Because it's a stage. It is part of the journey of business growth. And I am frozen right now. My Wi-Fi is frozen. So so
I see you moving now.
yes. Yeah. So it is a part. And here's the other thing, Erica. I see this I'm seeing this right now as we speak. There was one Teekah Talks that I forget when it was, but I talked about shiny objects and squirrels.
Hmm.
And sometimes we are at a part of the journey where we don't understand the message. We don't understand the lesson, right? And sometimes we're not ready to receive it, right? Because if we're not ready to receive it, we're not going to hear it. That's in life and in business. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes you might tell a person you see that they're doing something wrong and you try to explain it to them and they're like they couldn't be bothered.
Or it just went over their heads.
Exactly, exactly. So it's one of those things. So you, on the other side, have to know, and this comes with practice, it comes with just living and seeing it. You have to know when you can give some more and when you have to pull back. Because otherwise, if you're trying to explain it to somebody that's not ready to hear it, then you're wasting your time and energy, right?
Yeah,
Because regardless of what you do, they're going to have to figure it out for themselves. And that's a painful thing to see people that you know. I've walked down this road before. I know where all the potholes are. I know where to tell you to go left or to go right. But they still sometimes some people will listen to you and some people have to make their own mistakes.
I believe that.
That's how you learn, that's how you grow.
Yeah.
So it's just part of life.
You know, it's sumo day, and everything at AppSumo is very shiny. So very shiny. And now I picked up one stream live from AppSumo, and I love it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I would hate to miss out on things. And I think everything that I see there would help my business grow. But
But you
as you
have to
said,
find out, is it the right time? Is it the
yeah,
right thing? That's why having, earlier in the year we did goal setting and a vision. Remember? We did
yeah,
that exercise. So when you look at it broken out by month, what do I want to accomplish? Does it support what I want to accomplish? So really going back to that and understanding it's not that you don't need it, but do you need it now?
no,
Am I going to be paying this money, especially if it's paying money? If you're independently wealthy, go for it. But I see things. I've bought a whole bunch of stuff that there's one course that I bought maybe about 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
mm,
Amazing content. When I purchased it, there were things that were being taught to implement this or that, and I didn't have the infrastructure to be able to implement that. So I couldn't get my return on investment, right? But
yeah,
I now go back to that course because there are certain pieces in there that are phenomenal, right? So there's a lot to sort of navigate. There's a lot to, but you have to ask the hard question. And sometimes marketing can be so convincing that you're ready to pull out your credit card.
Yeah,
which we want people to pull out their credit card when we're selling our stuff as well,
that's true.
right? So I get that. But I'm at a point now where I might pull it out and leave it on the table and say, okay, let me think about this. Let me understand, how is it going to help me grow? Is Am I going to be able to get my return on investment within X number of time, right? Because, you know, there's so much that's changing in the world right now. There's so many things that used to work 5 years that don't work today. There's so much noise. There's so much noise. Are we still doing business like the way we did business 5 years ago? And I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I think each of us have to understand what's important to us,
Yeah.
right? What's important to us? What do we feel good about? And how will that, what would that show up like, right? When we're carrying out, what we need to do, how we need to get a sale. Do we feel good about that? You just have to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing yourself is huge. Understanding what your big why is, and really understanding it at a much deeper level than, oh, I want to help people,
Yeah.
right? Um, so those things I feel is important, but sometimes you don't figure that out until you've done a couple of things and you realize that, oh, like one of my mentors say, they usually use this thing, what are your non-negotiables, right? And
Yeah.
what I realized, because when I first did the exercise, I wasn't thinking along those lines. One of my non-negotiables is family. If my family needs me, then everything else can wait. Everything else will have to wait. Let me put it that way.
Makes sense.
So understanding, and also understanding, who's your ideal client. Who is your ideal client? For me, if I have um, an ideal client that's not coachable, don't I'm not interested, because if you know it all, then don't ask me to help you, because you're wasting your time and mine, right?
It's true.
So because if I'm going to say to you, here, I really think you need to focus on this,
Mm-hmm.
because I am seeing 10 steps ahead of you,
Yeah.
is why I'm telling you to focus on this.
Yeah.
Because
I.
if I ask you to teach me one stream live, you know the tool.
Yeah.
You know 10 step, you know 100 steps before I even know step 1, right? So those things, and you just have to work with things to find out what it is that lights you up, what it is that you can work all day all night and still not feel like work but still be paid for it,
Yeah.
you know
That's
so
right
those,
there.
yeah, that's a dream for sure. But there's a lot of different types of burnouts,
Yeah.
so we can talk about those when you're ready.
Okay. Definitely want to know a few things. I want to put out there so people know when you say marketing, like what happens. So when you say bacon and eggs, it's like as for breakfast. If you say diamonds are rare, you think that it's rare, and all of those or both of those things are marketing. They're not true. It's marketing. Diamonds aren't rare. Isn't always what's for breakfast.
There you
It
go.
is
There you go.
marketing. Yeah.
Yep.
So marketing can be manipulative. I can't even say it,
Yeah.
but it's not always true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And You got to know what you want for yourself. And
Right.
a way Sabrina was saying, know yourself. A good way to know yourself, in my personal opinion, it is to meditate, to sit quietly, not with thinking, not with your thoughts. It's just to sit quietly to give you access to your conscious. Let your subconscious come to your conscious. You get to know yourself. Okay,
Yep.
I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, but that's true. That's true. It's really finding time to be quiet with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be quiet, pause, pause. Your life needs you, you know.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
So,
uh, Another good one too. When you said when you were saying a lot of things, it makes me think of a spreadsheet about what you want. What are you doing? What do you want from it? What is it supposed to bring you? Things like that. If you write those things out, I think that would really help too.
oh yes, journaling. I have different types, different journals, right? I
Mm-hmm.
am a journal fanatic. I am. So I have this journal. It feels nice. And this is like your hopes and dreams. Then I have other things. It's not a journal, it's just a notebook. That's for client work because it's just tasks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, hopes and dreams need caring
Mm-hmm.
at every single level and taking time to write that down, time to get it out of your head so you can go back and read it,
Yeah.
right? So you can go back and read it. So you can go back and see, okay, you know, being really, really focused about what you want, it's not always
Mm-hmm.
easy, but the more you practice it, the easier it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And then some days you're just like totally exhausted. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
you know,
I must say, looking for speakers for your shows, it'll help if you don't wait to the very last minute. I totally wait to the very last minute. Luckily, I know great people that we out. But if you you write out your content calendar, you know the shows you want, you know the people you want to have on. Ask them, I would say 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time, just in case they have something that comes up. Maybe you can do
yeah,
you can still have them for that day on for that session. So it's a just in case.
right, right. And
I just want to throw that out there.
yeah. And the other thing too that you have to be, you get to a point where you need to be strategic about the content, the content you're sharing, the content, the shows and whatever, so that it has a through line message to what your call to action is.
Mm-hmm.
So that the show establishes you as the authority on something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that people get to know, because when it, because I kind of started out that way on Teekah Talks. It was just random in terms of, yes, Matt, those are facts. It's just random in terms of different topics, even though it was tied to something online. I wasn't, I didn't have a through line to that message. So people would be like, okay, this is where I come to listen to the speaker. I
Mm-hmm.
want people to come to Teekah Talks to listen to Teekah
It makes sense.
and understand the value that I bring to them and the areas of expertise. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, it is a business,
Yeah.
right? It is a business. It's not a volunteer position that I have in my business. I am not a volunteer in my business.
That's great perspective because I didn't even consider that's what I was doing. And I was totally doing that. I
Yeah.
was
Well, we
like,
all do it at some point.
yeah,
Some days we do. So it goes, but you need to be reminded that we're not a volunteer in our business.
like, I really didn't realize that until you said it just now. So, so profit pyramid. Everybody knows about a profit pyramid. You're doing something for free. That free thing leads to the next thing. I knew this, but at the same time, I wasn't saying Ericka Bates with One Stream Live Tuesday 9 a.m. Eastern. I wasn't saying that. I was live streaming so much same day and time. I just assumed, and I know I'm not supposed to assume that people know to watch me Tuesdays at 10. No, people
No.
don't know. And
Yeah.
when I finished the show, I would never say, catch me next Tuesday for the next episode. I wasn't making that through line. And I am just now catching on because I'm talking to you now. Even though I
And,
knew the
and
stuff,
that's,
but I wasn't
yeah.
applying it until I will now.
Yeah. But the other thing too is, do you just want them to watch you, or do you want them to be on your email list?
Email list.
So then you need to ask them, sign up here for that thing. So you can grow your email list. You can't assume that
Yes.
they will just hop on your list, but you need to have something of value that they can, so this is where that customer journey mapping comes into play. You have to understand, for the people that you are inviting to the one stream or to the YouTube or to whatever, what is the
Hmm.
journey going to look like, and what do I want them to do? I'm
Yeah.
giving them great value on something specific. And then, what do I want them to do? Like yesterday, we talked about, what is that story I'm sharing based on that call to action?
Hmm.
So tying even that element together. The stuff takes time. It is not, it takes time. And when we take time to design it, it can work really well,
Yeah.
because we've
Uh,
seen other people in the industry do a phenomenal job, and they continue, and we're like, how did I get that done? How did I get that done? you know
yeah.
so those are lessons that we have to learn from those who have gone before us.
Yeah. So true. Yeah, I've been doing this for about 3 years, and I was
Right.
getting tired of this supposed not working. But at the same time, I wasn't doing the things I was supposed to be doing, like having call to actions, through lines, the things I'm supposed to do. Yeah, wasn't doing them at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know better, so we'll do better.
Right. Right. And we
Mhm.
all learn when we know, we do better. So it's not just you. So don't beat up yourself. It's just, oh, yeah, I was supposed to be doing that.
Yeah,
I think sometimes we're all cobblers with no shoes.
yeah. I'm supposed to be promoting the show. I'm supposed to get guests ahead of time so I can either pre-record them or let them schedule their time with me because turns out Earth's not just for me. Other people live here and they got things to do.
Yeah.
So when they're on the show, have a through line. What are they going to take away from the show? What are they supposed to do next? And get them on my email list. I'm remembering this, but I am going to write this down. And
Good.
luckily, it's being recorded because I got to go through it and take these notes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because you're working towards a purpose, you're working towards a goal. And this work here is actually steps to the goal.
Hmm.
So think about it, just like how we would map out a customer journey map, we have to map out a goal journey map. So if our goal is to have, I'm guilty of this. If my goal is to try to reach out to two or three people on LinkedIn every day, or five people every week, because I want to grow my LinkedIn audience, if I don't reach out, it's not gonna happen. But it has to be scheduled. I should not make it an afterthought. Business growth, a lot of times, is put on the back burner because we have clients that we are working, you know, we're working in the business. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but we need to also work on the business. Otherwise, it wouldn't grow
Yep.
because we only have so many, everybody has 24 hours in a day. So at some point, you don't have more hours to be doing the one on one work that you're doing.
Hmm.
You have to think about your entire business model and what are those revenue streams and how much time is that going to take? What kind of content do I need to create? What is a right fit for the pain points of my customers? How am I going to deliver this? What's the cost of it? Because if you're spending 4 hours, like I'm spending 4 hours preparing for Teekah Talks, I have an estimated value of what my time is worth per hour.
Hmm.
So let's say my time is $10 an hour. I'm spending $40 to put out something that I'm getting no return on. What's the return am I getting? So if I look at it from that perspective, then if you work in corporate America, you better make sure that your work is going towards a goal. It has an outcome, right? It has an
Hmm.
outcome. And so we have to take that approach as small businesses, right?
It
If that
makes
makes
sense.
hopefully that makes sense.
It really does. I've heard Brendan Bashard talk about spinners, like people in a pond on those little duck things with the pedals. Like they're spinning, 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 and they're not going anywhere. They're doing the most work, not going
Absolutely.
anywhere. It's the
Yep.
people who have the direction and the determination and the will, the drive to go forward are the ones who are actually going forward. And he
But
says
we
that,
need a map. We need a map to know where we're going.
yeah, that's why I'm a big fan of how you say journaling and writing things down. Yeah,
Yes.
that really helps me. For me, if it isn't written, it's not true.
Yes. Right, right, right. Understanding how do I get, if this month I want to grow my list by X number of people, well, what am I doing to grow it? Did
Yeah.
it grow? Like also reflecting back, but don't wait until the end of the year. Do those, do it weekly if you have the time. It only takes 5 minutes. How many people did I get, registered this week? Whatever those, 4 or 5 things um, that you want to take the statistics on, right? If this week, if my goal for this month was to make X number of dollars, and every week, so that breaks out, I want to make, you know, $8 this month, and every week I should be making what, $2? And then when I look back, if I didn't make that, I'm not on track, or how am I going to make that up? But if you do it in small bites, it's easier to manage and self correct rather than waiting for months, right?
Yeah.
It's easier to self correct.
Yeah. Um, when hosting events for others, I like to use the analogy of we're going through a drive-through. You're looking at the menu. You're at the talking box. Just write down all these things that you want from your virtual event. Because by the time you get to the window, you are not going to ask for something the store doesn't serve,
There
and
you
you're
go.
happy
I
with
like
what you
that.
got because you wrote it down and you said this is what you want.
Yeah,
So
I love that. I love that analogy because then it tells you prepare before you come up to the window.
yes, like do not go to Taco Bell thinking you're going to get a bacon cheeseburger from Five Guys while you're at Taco Bell because they don't have that.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly right. Exactly right. And I'm going to touch on there's physical exhaustion when it comes to burnout. There's emotional fatigue,
Mm-hmm.
There's reduced productivity, but then you got to figure out, why is it reduced? Is it because of an emotional fatigue? Is it because of physical fatigue? Increased negativity, and am I going to listen to that? Am I going to let things live in my head? Like, my head is not a filing cabinet for somebody's woes. No, sorry. It can live outside. It doesn't need to live in my head. And physical and mental, you have to know what are those tools to help with whatever it is, but you have to know how to recognize them first. And what's in your toolbox to help you manage it.
Yeah. Would you
You
go
know, do
through
you
that
need
list one more time for us, please?
So there's a physical exhaustion, well,
Mhm.
everybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
There's emotional fatigue.
I think that makes you tired too. Or just
Oh,
you
it
just want
all
to go to
makes you
sleep.
tired. It's all parts of burnout. But what
Oh,
I'm saying is that sometimes physical exhaustion doesn't necessarily mean you're emotionally fatigued,
no, okay.
because you can be emotionally fatigued but not physically exhausted. But
Oh,
it kind of makes you physically exhausted. These are just I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. These are just my own experiences, right?
okay.
And and um when you feel like, I don't have any enthusiasm, I have work to do, but I'm just not motivated to do it. Like, recognize that, and then recognize, well, how can I change that? Because I'll tell you, if you sit at your desk and think you're going to change it, it ain't happening. At least not for me.
Yeah.
So you have to find ways and tools that you will use that works for you, right? Some of the things I do, it just depends. I
Hmm.
may just go for a walk to clear my brain.
I do
I
that
may
too.
go, yeah, I may go to the bookstore. I may just go and have lunch by myself and have a cup of coffee, take my journal and think. I might call a friend. So, understanding what are your tools, first of all, you have to get that out of your brain. Give your brain a little bit of space to come back to what's happening. And like I said, this is my experiences and what works for me,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Let me throw some
Everybody,
things in there, Sabrina. So I've read these are the things that can also make you tired. Are you in a blue room? Is your desk messy? Have you been drinking water?
oh yes,
Yeah. So I'm totally in a blue room right now, and there's papers everywhere on my desk. This makes me tired, but I know I'm probably not going to change the color of the wall because I love blue. But I can clean up my desk, and I know I can drink water. And as an extra bonus, I like what you said about going for a walk because I totally do those things.
yeah. And the other thing with a blue room, if you have some picture, some painting, some whatever, something that you can put on the wall to actually break up that blue space, then the color proportion that your eye is seeing is not as much,
It's a good idea.
right? So, you can put a big whiteboard on it
Hmm.
that you can write down your stuff. Um, but that's parts of the things that I really concentrate on. And this is some things that sometimes I don't say it, but these are the three. I don't know if there are three pillars, but there are three important pieces that I help people with. Their digital space, sometimes their mental space, and sometimes their physical space,
Hmm.
because all of it matters. All of it matters.
Yeah. Seeing a crowded desktop, don't like that. It makes me tired. It makes me want to do other things besides the work I need to do because I see that and I'm like, I don't want it.
Yeah, yeah. Totally, totally. Yeah. It definitely it creates that chaotic vibration.
Yeah,
And sometimes you don't know that that's what's happening. So it's good to recognize it for sure.
yeah.
And then,
Um,
like sometimes we're withdrawn and isolated, right? So find ways to not be isolated if that bothers you. I'm quite fine with my own company, but there are times when I'm like, oh, I got to talk to somebody. I have to go out for breakfast with somebody, whatever it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice being in the company of someone who can see you. Like that's why I like hanging out with you. I feel like you can totally see me. I
Yeah.
I actually have a strong dislike for me sitting across from someone or being in a room full of people and they have no idea that I'm there. Can't stand it.
Yeah. 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 Right. 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 And some people are just self-absorbed. That's just life. No. But here's the thing is you have to figure out, what are they contributing to your life?
Hmm.
And am I going to let that live in my head? Because you can't control how other people feel. You can only
Nope,
control how you feel,
it's
right?
true.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. Um, one of the things that I do to I guess keep myself distracted is to practice mindfulness. I like yellow, even though I'm in a blue room. I really like yellow. Yellow is the color for energy. So my favorite number is 5. I like to find 5 yellow things just to keep me distracted. If I'm tired, if I don't want to do things, that will snap me out of it, and that will help me keep moving forward. Just that little piece of mindfulness.
I like that. I like that. So maybe on your wall you should have like a sunset or a sunrise
Mhm. It's
with
a
the
good
yellow
idea.
with the yellow hues or something.
I actually have like little yellow post-it notes like all over my desk right now.
The other thing you can do, Erica, you say you like yellow. What kind of flower do you like? That's
I like
yellow. That's
sunflowers
yellow.
and lilies.
That's yellow. The
Hmm.
lilies or some. Okay, so you can get some little tiny vases and go get 5 yellow flowers, the same one,
Hmm.
and put them in there and put them somewhere on your desk. And you have five
Okay.
yellow flowers. If you need the word five, if you need five.
I should tell you, most of the lilies they have been sitting in like a jar of Kool-Aid to make them yellow.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, yeah, yeah. But you can get uh fake flowers, silk flowers or something.
Hmm.
And then once in a while just go treat yourself to fresh flowers.
That's a
Here,
really
here's
good idea.
here's the thing that to think about. If you are building a 5-figure business, a 6-figure business, a 7-figure business, whatever it is, does your space physically, mentally, digitally reflect where you're going? Does it stimulate where you're going, not where you're currently at? And the first easiest place to start is your physical space. Easiest place to start. Like you said, straighten up your desk. It's
Hmm.
not that difficult, you know,
Hmm.
right? Do things that inspire you. But sometimes just life happens, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes life happens. And there are certain things that I cannot stand. I cannot stand magazines all over the place. My coffee table must be back to normal with I cannot stand stuff on the coffee table that shouldn't be there. Like somebody just leave a cup or fortunately that doesn't happen because that's how we go. That's how we roll over here, you know. And there are certain things that I cannot stand. I cannot stand wrinkles. I want my clothes. Yeah, I can only stand so much, but I need to iron my clothes. Because wrinkles have a certain energy that is just
No.
like, well, think it's really blah, right? And I think because I grew up with a mom that ironed everything,
No.
right? And so that's just one of my pet peeves. I don't want to have wrinkles, not on anything, and especially not on my face if I can help it.
That's
But it's a belief. It's a very strong belief. Okay, but words have energy.
mm-hmm.
Things have energy. Everything has energy. So what is it that's sucking your energy that you don't even realize?
Yeah.
You know, and you know what's a good exercise? I'll give you an exercise to think about. And back in my interior design days, this is an exercise that I give students to observe spaces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the exercises, I want you to go to a little dive coffee shop and have a cup of coffee. It's probably going to be in a styrofoam cup. It's probably going to be whatever. Then I want you to go to the most expensive place that you can find in your neighborhood and have a cup of coffee. And I want you to observe there was a whole list of things they had to observe. But to get back to the environment point is, how did this environment make you feel? What it is that caught your eye? The two, like compare the two, right? You can also do it with pictures. Look at a messy coffee table. What energy does that evoke in you right away, or emotion? And then
Mm-hmm.
look at a beautifully laid out coffee table. How does that make you feel? Because when you're aware of what the exercise is, then you start training your brain to be more aware of things that make you lose energy, lose enthusiasm, lose whatever it is, and things that feed your soul.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's just being more aware of, you know, what are you feeling and why am I feeling this?
Yeah. It's a really good things to think on and write down because it's written, it's true. You know, Sabrina, I know you gotta go soon. Tell everyone your favorite social media hangout spot so we can find you.
So right now my favorite media hangout spot is LinkedIn. So you do Estika on LinkedIn, or I'm also on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. But I don't really check Instagram as much as I check LinkedIn. LinkedIn is probably the best place.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for your time, Sabrina. I do appreciate you being here, giving me so many realizations, so many things to go back and take notes on. Um, yeah, thank God for the record button. Yes.
Thank you so much, Erica. It was a great discussion, and thank you for asking. I enjoyed it.
All right, I appreciate you being here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove you from stage because I know you gotta go, and I am going to wrap up this live stream with a
Okay.
message from One Stream Live. So thank you, Sabrina.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Erica. Take care. I'll check in with you later.
All
Bye.
right, bye.
Bye.
So, this is a message from One Stream Live, and it is for you to join our Streamers Partnership Program. And when you join the partnership program, if you are feeling a little burnout, little things that they've helped me do is come up with a content calendar, come up with a promotion strategy, and let's see, and that's short reels or yeah, for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all over the place. I come up with it. They post it for me. They make my thumbnails for the live stream shows, and all they ask of me is to come up with the content calendar. We go over the content calendar. Um, they make the titles. They do the promotions. I make the videos for the promotions. They send out the videos, and they really streamline things for you when you are a partner in the streamers partnership program. So that is something for you to think about. So if you actually want to live stream, just for One Stream Live, you email your profile to content@onestream.live, and that content could be either your YouTube channel, your Facebook channel, just something with content that you have streamed, and let people know what you're about, what you do, what you want to talk about. And that's about it. So I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And yeah, catch me live next Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, um, wherever you're seeing me now, because most likely that's where you're going to see me next Tuesday. Okay, thanks and bye.